I'm joined by Sarah Cartmill, the head women's basketball coach at St. John Fisher University. Coach, thank you very much for your time. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Everything's
Okay.
good.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about St. John Fisher University?
Sure. So St. John Fisher is located in Rochester, New York, kind of in the Finger Lakes region of New York State. We're about 2,700 students enrollment. We have 25 sports. We compete in the Empire 8 Conference, which is all New York State schools, all kind of within this region, within, I would say, 3 hours of us. Nice Catholic university, beautiful campus, really great area, and spot to be at. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about the Empire 8, your conference, some of the other teams, in your conference?
Yeah, so Empire 8 consists of actually, oddly enough, 12 teams now. Teams are Nazareth, which is just down the street from us, Hartwick, which is in Oneonta, New York, Keuka, which is in Penn Yan, Elmira, Sage College, which is over in Albany, SUNY Poly, which is also in Albany area, Geneseo, Brockport, who are new to us this year, Houghton, and then Alfred is the last,
Okay.
including ourselves. So
Yeah.
pretty competitive D3 league in New York State.
Yeah. I was supposed to interview Sarah Lombard today at Hartwick, but they had a cybersecurity issue at their school, so a lot of things got changed. So she had
Oh,
to
gee.
can't she had to cancel. She had to reschedule her interview, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sarah's great. I've known
yeah,
Sarah for a while actually, so you'll
yeah.
enjoy interviewing her.
Yeah, I thought I was going to interview another FRA school, but yeah. So can you tell me about your upcoming season, that begins, shortly? What are you looking forward to most this season, and just how does your team look going into the upcoming season?
Yeah, so with it being my first year, I'm really super excited just to get going with this team, with this new group, new school, new conference, everything's new. So a lot of unknowns, but the season is looking good. We had our first scrimmage on Friday, saw some good things from the team. I think we have a good group of both returning players who have been here, and then a good group of some newcomers who are new to college basketball. So we'll see how they adjust and the expectations are there because the program has been very successful in the last several years. So I'm excited to get going. We start our conference or we start our game schedule in a couple weeks. So it's right around the corner. So we got a lot of work to do, but I'm excited to get rolling with them for sure.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about your team? How does your team look going into the upcoming season? Can you just tell me how does your roster look, and any notable players you want to touch on?
Yeah, so our roster, we returned three starters from last year's team, with, like I mentioned, a bunch of new faces. I would say the most notable player on our roster as a returning player would be Sydney Tomaso. She's our returning. She received honorable mention All-American last year. Returns averages about 16 and a half, 6.5 rebounds. So she will be a big focal point for us and for other teams focusing in on her, but we have quite a bit of balance. We have, five seniors, five juniors, a couple sophomores, and four freshmen. So we kind of have a nice balance of different classes and different players that can do a little bit of everything. So I think our balance is gonna be really important for us this year.
Yeah. And coach, this is your first season as head coach at St. John Fisher. And you're going to be hosting a home tournament, the St. John Fisher tournament, November 16th and 17th at your home gym, Manning and Napier Varsity Gym. So you haven't, hosted this tournament yet before, but what do you think it'll be like to host a home tournament? And just can you tell me about your home gym, Manning and Napier Varsity Gym?
Yeah, so the home tournament will be fun. It's always nice to host a tournament. It'll actually be my first game coaching at home. So that's always interesting as well. It's exciting, nerve-wracking, but will be exciting. But we have a really good field coming in for this tournament. Ohio Northern plays out of the OAC in Ohio. They finished fourth in their league last year. Wittenberg comes in. They play out of the North Coast Athletic Conference, which is another really good conference. They finished third in their league, and then Hilbert is out of New York as well in the Buffalo area. So we really have a good group coming in for the tournament. I'm excited about it. It's always nice to host in our home gym. Our home gym's kind of fun. It's got an older feel to it. It's got some open windows on each end, so you get some daylight in there sometimes. It's kind of got that pit feel to it. So there's some a small amount of bleachers on the court level, but then there's a lot of bleachers up above. So it's kind of a unique setting to watch a game at. I'm super excited to coach there, to coach in our home gym, have it be my first game and our first game together at home. So that'll be fun to host it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, you were named, the head coach in July. Can you just tell me more about the facilities? Were there anything about the facilities that stood out to you, when you're looking at becoming the head coach there at
Yeah,
St.
I
John
think the
Fisher?
big Yeah, I think the big thing with facilities here is we're really supported. We're really taken care of. We have super outdoor facilities. We got a couple turf fields, grass fields. The Buffalo Bills actually hold their training camp here at our facility, so it's kind of exciting to have them around in July. I just missed them before I got here, so I'll hopefully get to see them and meet Josh Allen next summer. But they're no great facilities are wonderful. Our maintenance is great. The campus itself is beautiful. We're able to practice in our main gym, but we also have a field house space that is available to us as well if we need it. So it's really nice to just to have a bunch of spaces that you can use, weight room facilities, all that stuff is really nice. It's a really quality Division III facilities here at
Yeah.
Fisher.
And coach, what did it mean to you when you're named, head women's basketball coach at St. John Fisher, back in, July?
It was exciting. When I looked at the opportunity to apply for this job, it was one that was really enticing to me because of not only the success that St. John Fisher women's basketball has had, but the athletic department in general is super successful, and has a history of winning. And I knew that coming in, so I knew it would be a good challenge for me in my coaching career for where I'm at right now. And it's also closer to home for me. I grew up in Ithaca, New York, so it's a couple hours closer than I was out at Fredonia State, where I've been for the last 6 years. So that was a big plus for me as well. But really, it was just kind of the people that I met when I was here and realized that Fisher's a special place. It's a place that I could continue to help build this program and continue the success that they have here. And I was excited. I was honored that they chose me, and I'm gonna kind of do them proud as I start my career here.
Yeah, you talked about this being an honor. How special is this opportunity for you to lead the Cardinal women's basketball program? Given, last season they won the Empire 8 title and they played in the national championship 4 of the past 5 seasons. So just how special is this, new opportunity for you?
Yeah, like I mentioned, the success that this program has had is impressive, and the former coaching staff did a wonderful job here and have really built the foundation for some special things. So to have the opportunity to be able to lead a team that has been to the tournament and is used to winning and has that culture of success is really important and special, and an honor for me to be put in this position to lead these young ladies.
Yeah. And you also recently hired an assistant coach, Patrick Stillman. So can you tell me a little bit about Patrick?
Yeah, so Patrick is great hire for me. He's a Rochester native. He's from Henrietta, and was at Fisher as a grad assistant early in his career, but has found a lot of success as an assistant. He was at Monroe Community College, MCC here locally. Was actually part of the staff that won a national championship back in 2018. So he's wonderful because he knows basketball. He knows the X's and O's. He knows kind of what it takes to be part of a successful staff and a successful program. So he's really come in and hit the ground running, connecting with the girls, helping me with all things faceted with, scouting reports will be, scouting opponents, helping me with practice prep, all the ins and outs that are helpful for a head coach to have. And he's really been great to work with thus far. I'm excited to see what we can do this year together.
Yeah. So coach, let's go back to your beginning. You grew up in Ithaca, New York, I believe. Just tell me about growing up in Ithaca, how you got started playing basketball, and just tell me about some of your earliest, basketball memories.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I grew up in Ithaca, which is only about an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes from campus, which is really nice. I can get home, my family can come watch games, which is really great. Yeah, I grew up in Ithaca, started playing basketball when I was probably in third grade, maybe. I have two older brothers who both played, so I was always kind of the younger sister that was around and around the sport and watched them play, which kind of got me intrigued by it and interested in it. And grew up played 5 years on varsity at Ithaca, and then went on to play in college, luckily enough. And then after that, but Ithaca itself was wonderful. I was part of really some really good programs in my high school career. Never won a sectional title, but we're close. And I think. Actually, I did win one sectional title. I take that back. It's been so long, it's hard to remember. But I think greatest memories is really just the teammates that I'm still in contact with. Hometown is super supportive. They've been had some local people reach out to me saying congrats, and it's a nice place. It's always fun to go back. You always appreciate the place you grew up with. I think after you grow up and after you're gone. So Ithaca will always be home. My dad still lives in Ithaca. One of my older brothers lives in Ithaca, so I try and get back as much as I can. And we play in Ithaca this year, so that'll be nice. It's always nice to go back home. So.
Yeah. And you played collegiately at Binghamton University. What was it like, there to win two straight conference championships? And I'm also interested to know, your team moved from Division 2 to Division 1 throughout your career, in your senior year. So just tell me about winning two conference championships. What was the move like for you, going from Division 2 to Division 1 your senior year?
Yeah, so we had some really great teams when I was there. We found some success at Division 2, and winning and success is always fun to be around. And we really, I think we kind of took on the underdog role as we moved from Division 2 to Division 1. We were super powerful team at D2, and I think there was some thoughts that, wow, are they ready for Division 1? Are they going to compete? Are they going to be able to kind of keep that level of play? And we did. I mean, the first year, my senior year, we entered the America East and we made the playoffs. We, got ourselves in a situation where we were able to, I think we finished almost, I don't remember what our ranking was going into the tournament, but we had a great year. I mean, I think we won like maybe 19, 20 games, something like that, and really just continued our success, which was really fun for us, especially my senior class. Because I think people kind of doubted us and we kind of took that on and embraced that. So I'm still close with a lot of my teammates. My sophomore year team got inducted into the Hall of Fame a few years back, which was really special. So yeah, it's a special place. It holds a place in my heart right now and always will. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a long
Yeah.
time ago, but it was a lot of fun.
So what drew you to become a college coach? And your first coaching position was as a graduate assistant at Ithaca College. So, what drew you to become a college coach, and how was your first, coaching position at Ithaca College?
Yeah, so I actually wasn't one of those people that thought they wanted to be a coach right from the get-go. I wanted to play and I loved to play, and I was lucky enough to play after I graduated from Binghamton. I played overseas for a few years. I was in Ireland for a couple years. I was in Denmark
Okay.
for and I think I kind of realized that I couldn't play basketball the rest of my life, and that shoot, maybe I still want to kind of be around it. So I reached out to a handful of coaches that I knew, and Dan Raymond at Ithaca had a grad assistant position, and it just was the right fit for me because it was home. I was able to kind of stay at home and save some money and work with him, who I knew from being in the area growing up in Ithaca, obviously. And he gave me a really great opportunity because I was his only assistant, so I really had a lot of responsibility and a lot thrown at me right away, which was really fun. It kind of gave me an idea that I think I do want to do this for the rest of my kind of career and see if this I can make this work. So my experience at Ithaca was wonderful. Dan Raymond, I consider one of my mentors, and he's really built the program at Ithaca to be one of the best in the country consistently. So I'm lucky to have him in my coaching life and in my life in general. So I'm very lucky. I was very lucky.
Yeah. And coach, you also, have coached at the Division 1 level at St. Bonaventure University. So what was it like, coaching in Division 1, and what did you learn the most, from coaching, in Division 1?
Yeah, Division 1 was a different beast in a good way. It was a lot more, I would say, pressure, but a lot more on you as an assistant. You have a lot more time with your athletes. You have a lot more responsibilities with on-court workouts, individual workouts, scouting, everything. And I loved it. I really had a great mentor there in Jim Crowley, who is actually back at St. Bonaventure now. He left and was at Providence for several years, but is back at St. Bonaventure. And Bonaventure was a special place because we had a really tight knit group as a staff, and we had a really talented group that ended up I think my last year there, we went to the WNIT and really was the start of that program taking off and being successful for a small school. So being an assistant at Division I was a lot of fun. It's go go go. It's always something, which was fun in my early 20s. I really enjoyed that and really got my hands in on a little bit of everything as an assistant at a small school. So it was great. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
And then something very special in 2010, you returned to Binghamton University, your alma mater, for 4 seasons as assistant coach. So, how special was it, to be assistant coach at your alma mater for 4 seasons?
Yeah, going back to Binghamton was special for me. I think anytime you're able to go back to a program that had a big impact on your life is really a great opportunity. I was able to coach under Nikki Shaw, who was the assistant coach when I played at Binghamton, and one of my former teammates, Leah Troncali at the time, was on staff as well. So it just was, and it was close to home again. It was only an hour from Ithaca and my family. So it was really great because I think when you invest as an assistant coach, you're always investing a lot into your athletes and into the program. But when it's a program that helped you along in your journey as an athlete, I think it just hits a little bit different. And I really loved my time being back at Binghamton. I think it's just yeah, unless you've coached at your alma mater, you don't really understand how special it can be. So that was a really special time for me. I really enjoyed working with those athletes, being back on that campus, and helping them win, helping them develop. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Something else that was special, after, several assistant coaching positions, you then got your first head coaching position at Bard College in 2014. So just how special was it to get your first, head coaching position in 2014?
Yeah, I think that move from being an assistant to being a head coach is very daunting. At least it was for me to think, well, I don't know if I'm ready or not, but let's see if we can do this. And Chris Hall, who was the athletic director at Bard at the time, took a chance on me as a first time head coach and really took me under a wing and helped me learn kind of what Bard was about and what I was going to need to do there and how I was going to, need to build that program. And it was a challenging few years at Bard. I learned a ton. As a head coach, you don't really know what it all entails until you're kind of in the big seat. And I really did enjoy it. It was a whirlwind with learning a lot as kind of on the fly, but I had a great group of athletes. I had a great group of staff that I worked with there, fellow coaches that were really invested and really, really loved Bard. I really did enjoy my time there. I really enjoyed my time in the Hudson Valley. It's a beautiful area. I really cut my teeth and got myself going and realized, yeah, I can do this. I like this head coaching gig. I really enjoyed it. Super challenging, a lot of ups and downs, but overall it was a good first experience, a good first spot for me as a first time head coach at Bard.
And how was the transition for you, going from assistant coach to head coach? Did you navigate it well, or was it, difficult at first?
I think I navigated it very well. I
Mhm.
think my last couple years at Binghamton as an assistant, I think I started to kind of get those thoughts of, oh, I think I would do this in this situation, or maybe this if I was the head coach, and I hadn't really had those thoughts prior to that. Not in a disrespectful way to my head coach, but just in a way of maybe this might be something I want to do, of being kind of the head honcho, being the boss. So I think I adjusted pretty well. I think it's just a matter of stepping up and understanding the pressures that are going to be on you as a head coach because the buck stops with you, and if anything happens, it's your program. So I kind of embraced that fairly well. I think at times it was a little overwhelming, realizing that there's no one else in charge but you, but of the program. But it was overall, I think I adapted fairly well and handled it decently for the most part.
Yeah. And now, prior to St. John Fisher, you were the head coach at Fredonia State University from, 2018 to 2024. So just tell me about, the past few years, being head coach at Fredonia State, and then ultimately, what led you to take, this head coaching position, at St. John Fisher.
Yeah, Fredonia State was a great stop for me. I really enjoyed coaching in the SUNYAC. It's a really, State University of New York athletic conference is a really great conference, really competitive conference. Fredonia State was a spot that I found some really great people to work with. Really loved the area that I lived in. And the program was in a in a spot when I got there that needed, it wasn't a rebuild by any means, but it needed a little bit of a revamp and a little bit more put into it, I think, consistently. And I was really proud of how me and my staff built it up and got some really talented student athletes in, and really put ourselves in a position to compete in that league. That league is really strong. Cortland, New Paltz, those guys up at the top are really good. And I think we put ourselves in a spot to compete for playoffs. We made playoffs, I think 3 out of my 6 years maybe, and really did a good job of putting ourselves in that position. And I really enjoyed working at Fredonia and the student athletes that I worked with. And it was a really great 6 years. I really enjoyed my time at Fredonia.
Yeah. Finally, coach, what do you enjoy most about being a college coach? What have been some of your favorite memories so far throughout your, coaching career?
I think that my favorite part about being a college coach and part of the memories that I have are the connections that I'm able to make with the student athletes. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment being away from those you love, being on a lot of road trips, watching a lot of film, taking time away from things that you might want to do on a weekend because you're prepping or you're going recruiting, all that. So I think the positives and the pluses in this profession are the connections that you're able to make with your student athletes, the weddings that I've been to of student athletes that I've coached, or the baby showers that I'm invited to, or just being in contact with those student athletes and knowing that the 4 years that they're with you is a small blip on their radar, but it can be very special. Being a former student athlete, I know how special that connection is. I'm still in contact with a lot of my college coaches and know how important our role is as coaches. We're part of the support system that helps these student athletes get through really hard times, really successful times, really challenging times. And I think that bond that's formed with students and student athletes is probably the best part of what I do.